so let's solve for x here. And the equation that we're given is x minus 27 equals 13. So to solve these equations, remember that all we're doing is we're working backwards. We want to work backwards and get rid of everything that's around the x. And in this particular problem, it's going to be minus 27. So everybody, hit me. We all know this fact. What is the opposite of subtracting 27 from a variable? Yeah, the opposite is going to be adding. So let's go ahead and do that. Plus 27 on the left and on the right. Booyah right there. And so we will go ahead and cancel out on the left, leaving us with x equals 13 plus 27. We can simply do 10 plus 20, which is 30. And then 3 plus 7 is another 10. So that would end up being 40. But there we go. Answer here is answer choice D, 40. And we can check our work by doing 40, swapping in the x, minus 27. And that indeed does equal 13. So we're all good, all correct, and we're good to move on. All right, so here's another one. And we're going to get straight to reading the question sentence. All right, the question sentence here reads, if the crew logged 60 hours, yada, 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 yada. Don't care about that. What I care about initially here is going to be how many repairs were completed. Boom, right there. That's what I care about. How many repairs were completed. So I'm going to instantly start reading all the way through this, and I'm going to find wherever the number of repairs is defined. Because I see that we have H, X, Y, and Z. That's a lot for my brain. I don't like looking at all that. So let me just fixate myself on what I want. How many repairs were completed? H is the total work hours. That's not repairs. X is the number of installations. That's not repairs. Y is the number of inspections. That's not repairs. Z is the number of repairs. There it is. Z is the number of repairs. So I have what I need. I have H equals 4x plus 2y plus 3z. And I can be confident that this right here is what I'm looking for. Now I'm going to plug in everything else that I have. Again, here H is the total work hours. And I see that the crew logged 60 hours. So boom, right there instantly, I'm replacing the H with 60. Next up, I noticed that we have 9 installations. What variable represents installations? X. X is the number of installations. So I'm going to do 4, and I'm going to replace the X with 9. Next up, we have 2Y. So we'll have 2 multiplied by Y. And what does Y represent? Y is the number of inspections, 6 inspections. So we'll replace Y with 6. And then we have 3Z. So all we have to do now is solve this equation, and we're good. Let's clean things up and let's get it going. So we have 60 equals 4 times 9, which is 36. 2 times 6, that's going to be 12. And then we have the 3Z that we'll continue writing out. Next up, we have 36 plus 12, and that'll give us 48. So we have 60 equals 48 plus 3Z. All right. Now from here, what we'll do is we'll continue to try to get that Z by itself. We have 3 attached to it, and we also have the 48. So with that, what we're going to do first is we'll go ahead and remove the 48 by subtracting it on both sides, canceling out on the right side, giving us 12 equals 3Z. So now that we have 12 equals 3Z, right over here, we'll finalize this by dividing both sides by 3, and we are done. Cancels out on the right side. Everybody, 12 divided by 3 gives us 4. Booyah. And that means that the correct answer here is 4 repairs. 4 repairs were completed, and we're all set. In this problem, we had to work backwards to achieve the number of repairs by just plugging and chugging. So in this next problem, what we see here is we're looking for the cost per lesson. So when we're talking about the same music school, the students pay this registration fee plus a fixed amount per lesson. Maya paid this amount total for this many lessons, and we're trying to find the cost per lesson. So, as we contextualize here, this is one of those rare moments where the problem, the question sentence, it's going to give something away. Everybody, if there's a certain word that we should highlight, what's that word that we should highlight here in that question sentence? Oh yeah, the word per. The word per. We are looking for the cost per lesson. Again, what we want, let me write this down. What we want is going to be the amount of money per lesson. Help me out, my friends. The word per gives away what type of a value. What type of a value are we talking about here? Yeah, we're talking about a rate. When you are talking about how much money you're spending per lesson, that's a rate. For every lesson, you pay a certain amount of money. So that's what I can tell you with confidence. Before we get into, doubting ourselves, second guessing with the rest of the word problem, I can tell you right now, this is a rate. Now let's understand what kind of a context, what kind of a situation this fits under. Because here it says we have, at this music school, we pay a registration fee. Then we pay a fixed amount per lesson. And here's the total. Here's how many lessons. That fits perfectly under y equals mx plus b. In a nutshell, you have a beginning amount, you have a change, and then you have a final amount. The beginning amount is right here. We have that registration fee, $40. Then on top of that, we have ourselves that fixed amount per lesson, which is the rate right over here. And we have the number of lessons that we would multiply that by, 8 lessons right here. So I'll write down m times 8. And remind me one more time, my friends, what was the final amount? Yeah, 320. That's the final ending amount, the end result. We would pay $320. So let's get to work now. M times 8 is the same as 8m, so I'm just going to rewrite everything right over here. 320 equals 8m plus 40. Up next, well, this is just an equation that I have to solve now. So if you were able to get to this point, 320 equals 8m plus 40, congratulate yourselves. You're taking a good next step. Now let's solve this together. To get the m by itself, we have to get rid of the 8 and the 40. The 40 goes away first. So what we'll do is we'll subtract 40 from both sides. Perfect. And once we do that, we have ourselves 280 on the left side equals 8m because we're going to cancel the 40s on the right. And then our last step is going to be divide both sides by 8. So we'll show that right over here and there. Cancels out. And now we'll do just a little bit of long division. So allow me to take the work that we've done, move that right over, well, let's make it a little smaller, and move that right over there. So let's get our long division on. So we have 8 going into 280. 8 going into 28 will be 3 times, because 8 can't go into 2, but it can't go into 28 3 times. 3 times 8 is 24. And we have 4 left over. Drop that 0. And now we ask, 8 goes into 40 how many times? And that will be a clean 5 times. So we subtract the 40 to show that there is no remainder. And we're good. There is M. M is $35 per lesson. Exactly what we were looking for at the beginning. And so our correct answer here, my friends, is answer choice D, $35 per lesson.